Hey, hey.
All right, let's wait for a minute or two. Let's have a bit of time for people to roll in, and we'll start soon. Ben, can you find Archie? We could promote her on the stage as well.
Not sure she's here at the moment. Just waiting still. Okay, we're about 4 minutes into the call now, so maybe we should make a start. Miko, you there? Can other people hear me?
Hello, can anyone hear me actually? Can you write to the chat if you
Ah,
can hear me?
Yeah.
yep,
Mhm.
yep, we can hear you now.
Could
Okay,
hear Ben,
fantastic. I
Miko.
cannot hear anybody from our team. I'll need to do some debugging here. Ben and Matt, can you say something?
Yeah,
I hear
sure.
you.
Can you hear us okay? Okay then. Maybe I can kick the call off then whilst we wait for Miko to resolve his technical issues. So, thank you everyone for joining the community call number 5. We've had like a really amazing month in the month of July. And, we've grown our community now on Discord from, up to now 370,000 and also 300,000 community on Twitter. So I'd like to welcome all of the new members of the community who joined us in July. And thank you everyone, for supporting us. It's been a really, really good July for us. And with those sort of numbers and such growth, I've got some news to share with you guys from our extended team. So, the first piece of news I'd like to share with you is that, we are expanding our extended team of moderators. So this month we've taken on June, who you've actually seen quite active now on our Discord. He's been previously active as a language mod in our Korean channels. So he's also been promoting Taiko in other Korean channels as well. So firstly, I'd like to welcome June. The second piece of news I have is that we are actually expanding our community team as well. So from that perspective, if we look back at where we were previously with just myself, now our community team consists of Miko, we've got Archie, we have RJ, and the amazing piece of news I have now is that one of our amazing moderators, X, who's been a long-standing moderator from our community from pretty much day one, is now joining our team as a community manager. So, please guys, join me in welcoming X on board. He joins us in a couple of weeks' time, so it hasn't officially started yet, but I just wanted to share with everybody, the good news as well. So, welcome X. Thank you for all your assistance as a moderator. And, I'd like to also give a shout out at this point in time also to all of our other moderators who've also been helping us throughout these months and the past 12 months, in fact. So, thanks guys for everything that you do. So that said, this is our ethos around how we promote people from our community, how we identify individuals from our community as well. And, sometimes you have to just show everybody that this is how things are done. So from that perspective, we're demonstrating to you all that we do take our community very, very seriously, and we love you guys. So get active in our community, and you guys also have some opportunities as well. Thank you.
Hey
Miko,
everyone,
handing back
can
to
you
you.
guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, fantastic. Sorry about that. I honestly didn't hear any of the conversation before, so missing a little bit of context here, but I believe we're ready to start. All right, well, on my behalf as well, welcome everyone to Taiko's community call number 5. Fantastic to have everybody around again.
Miko,
For those that are
just to
yeah,
give you some context, Ben gave a nice intro and spoke to the community and welcomed X, along with some other X to the community team and some newer mods from the past month. So that's where we're at.
gotcha. Cool. So yeah, I'll keep it short, a minute or two from my side. So yeah, welcome. I would say some of the biggest milestones we've had since we last talked 1 month ago in the previous community call has been the growth of the Alpha tree and the Taiko node operators. That's been pretty amazing to witness. We are now nearly 5,000 unique proposers. I think it's a bit over 4,900 and close to 600 unique provers in the L2. And obviously we've now deployed Taiko on Taiko, so the inception layers are reality. So it's a separate blockchain technically, living on the Alpha tree. Our Alpha 4 is living on top of Alpha 3, and there's a separate set of proposers and provers, and it's been great to see those numbers also growing, close to 600 unique proposers and 144 provers, close to million transactions now, since it was launched a little bit around 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so yeah, good to see progress there and really the community involvement and people helping each other. Besides that, yeah, a lot of things have happened. A big part of our team was in ETHCC Paris, the largest Ethereum conference in Europe, and Yeah, by the way, Matt did a great keynote delivery there. So if you want to hear the latest of Taiko and how things work and kind of our philosophy, I really recommend checking out Matt's keynote from our YouTube channel, and also a panel discussion with the other ZK rollups and their founders. We've also had new team members joining. Joaquin leading the partnership side of things, and RJ starting to create video content, interviews, both internally and externally. So I guess that's pretty much of the most important highlights. So maybe Archie, maybe I could hand over to you soon, or Ben, would you have anything to add here from the community side? Galaxy, we've been growing fast. I think we broke 300k Twitter followers just a few days ago, and the community has been growing. Anything to add, Ben?
I covered all of those whilst you had your technical difficulties. But yeah, maybe I could answer maybe a couple of the the top Galaxy questions that people actually have. So the top two Galaxy questions that we actually do have from people is that firstly, for all of those who have been doing proving and proposing, yes, we actually ended those tasks slightly earlier than expected, basically because of feedback that things were too difficult. It was too difficult to get hold of the TTKO tokens as well. And a lot of members felt that it was too challenging. So therefore, we decided to close that. But don't worry, guys, we'll have more opportunities coming up. We'll definitely be having more Galaxy events, probably starting next week. Maybe next Wednesday, we'll launch something new. The second most popular question around the Galaxy campaigns is around because people have been doing proposing and proving as well. They've had to use two different wallets. So we've been talking to Galaxy around this, and they have a solution which they will be implementing in the coming months, which will address the issue. So basically, guys, no need to worry about using a temporary wallet. They will allow you guys to add an additional wallet at a later date, so you can reclaim those points. So yeah, that's the Galaxy stuff answered. Maybe I can hand over now to RJ.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, really happy to be here. Yeah, I think this is my first time in the community call. Hi everyone. So yeah, let me just do a brief self-introduction. So I joined Taiko around 3 weeks ago. My main focus will be on the content creation. So in terms of for the contents, there will be article content and also video content as mentioned by Miko. So for the video content, there will be the internal interviews with our engineers and also the external interviews with other well-known names or like other founders or co-founders from other layer twos. Yeah, so in fact, Archie and I actually already did first internal interview with Brecht this week. Yeah, probably I will upload that end of this week. Yeah, and I will definitely share the link in the Discord. So yeah, it's a very interesting one. Brett is Brett is a very interesting person, and I really think what he shared is very valuable. So we talk about the difference between layer 2 and layer 3s, cross-layer communications, and also ZK rollup security, like issues and solutions in general. And Archie also shoot Brett with some very funny questions at the end, where Brett also share about some like interesting experience and also his anecdotes. Yeah, so definitely I strongly recommend you guys to watch that, and there will be more videos and articles coming up in the future. Yep.
Thanks a lot, Archie. Looking forward to see the conversation with you and Brecht, and yeah, it's interesting to see also for our own team members actually. Cool. All right. I'll hand over to. Normally, I would hand over to Daniel. Daniel couldn't make it today, so I'll pass on to Matt for updates on your side ecosystem and everything else, and then after that we can move to Brecht.
All right. Thank you, Miko. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, great to be here, and doing less talking, more listening is really nice on the call. Yeah, it's great to have the community team growing. Some other teammates that would have been here but cannot, as was mentioned, Joaquin has joined us on the ecosystem and partnership side, so that's really nice, and a nod towards an increased effort over there, picking up the pace. As you all know, that the testnets have been chugging along, and they're becoming more persistent and more capable. So yeah, building out the ecosystem with many of you. So Joaquin couldn't be here today, but he says hi, and he'll be here next time. And yeah, just to restate the welcomes to Archie. RJ and Archie sounds the same, but those are two different people, of course, not to be confused. And yeah, congrats to X joining us, and thank you to all the mods and extended team over this past few months. Your effort has been incredible. And it was nice to meet some more people in Paris. I met Sam from the extended team and a few others, so that was really nice. Yeah, so the focus has been on making sure builders will have everything they need in the very near term on testnets, and then of course on mainnets. So all the infrastructure and tooling, all the primitives that they might need to build their protocols and projects on. So that is a focus right now, and you'll see progress added to that, things that you could use and hook into over the coming weeks. The ecosystem page is probably the best place to keep an eye on that, maybe with some announcements or some Discord discussions and office hours, or tea with Taiko as well. Speaking of builders having everything they need, if you are a builder, then we launched the grants program a couple weeks ago. You could see that in the blog post, and also alluded to on the community forum, and the application process lives on GitHub. So yeah, the grants program is our first one. It's an attempt to get a bunch of the community builders, either brand new builders or some projects that might live elsewhere, to build on Taiko. It's quite unique in that it allows people to build alongside the team and have a stake in the network in the way that it's structured. It's not purely kind of cash component grants. You could read more about it, but it definitely allows builders to be part of the team, in the sense that their efforts would have a stake in the network. So please take a look at that. That could be for infrastructure providers. There's 10 categories we state, but there's much more possible. And also your feedback on the grant program will be very helpful, because we'll certainly iterate on it, perhaps do very different ones in the future. So that's that. Yeah, we mentioned EthCC, which was really fun. Some nice presentations and conversations there. Other events coming up. I don't know if maybe I'll leave this for somebody else to speak on a bit later, but yeah, there's 3-4 events that are planned over the next 2 months, I'd say. You'll see a bunch of Taikoers there. I think I'll leave that for somebody else to get into, just because I've spoken enough. So yeah, we'll discuss that, and really that's it. Normally Daniel would give a little protocol overview as well. Perhaps before handing it to Brecht, I could see if Danny wants to talk about that a little bit on a protocol update side. Of course, as the community. Oh, I see Daniel has joined. If he wants to take it, so maybe Daniel or Danny, you could talk about some of the protocol progress. As the community knows, we had Alpha 3 running, then Alpha 4 on L3. Those are testing different protocol implementations, and I'm really proud of our work there and proud and thankful for the community to test it. I think we have one of the most rapid rates of shipping quite different protocol designs and testing them in the wild, and it's I think we're quite unique on that front. And then on some of the implementations as well, of course, trying to do things permissionlessly, which is difficult in a testnet environment for all the reasons So yeah, thank you everybody for that, and yeah, really just a general thanks. It's nice to see the community grow, but also the OGs and the core people stick around. Now you all have Jeff's NFT as your profile. I need to, I think, get one of those and yeah, join you guys. So thank you, and I'll pass to Danny or Daniel.
Guys, thank you, Matthew. I'm not feeling well today, so maybe Brecht can help me to bring some updates. Thank you, Brecht.
Yeah, you don't sound so healthy, Daniel. So yeah, I'll try to give some updates, and yeah, feel free to jump in if I forget something or I mess something up, or Danny can as well for the protocol updates. But yeah, I guess like this month or like last month, I guess like yeah, one of the big things we did was launch an L3, which is like for us pretty interesting. Like it's already interesting from like a technical perspective because of our Ethereum equivalents, and also like to additionally like test additional things out. So yeah, we launched like the staking for the provers on our L3, and yeah, there's also some articles that came out, I think, on like some of the problems found on this by testing this out in the non-public testnet. So yeah, so that's kind of like from a technical perspective. For internally, we will not treat like L3 as like a priority, like a top priority inside the team, but we'll mostly be working with like external people and ecosystem partners to like build out like an L3 ecosystem. So there's also like different ways to like how you can scale Ethereum. So L2s, multiple L2s, multiple L3s. I think they can work nicely together. So yeah, it depends on like how those things also work out. I guess it's also like if you want to hear more about this, I guess I can also show the interview I did with like RJ that's coming out. I also talk a bit more about that, and I guess more fun facts about me somehow. Maybe the man behind the cat information. But anyway, I think that's it for like the L3. Like in the future, like I guess like hopefully the end of this quarter or the beginning of next quarter, we'll launch like also a new L2, which will contain some protocol updates. I think like the multi-prover support, but yeah, we'll also mostly focus on expanding like the ZK coverage. So the goal for this quarter is to get like a coverage of 85% of the circuits. So that means that we will basically we should support basically everything except like the pre-compiles. That is the main goal for this quarter. And again, to get towards that, we are currently working on adding like EIP 1559 support to the EVM circuit, which we kind of like need because that's already active on our testnet. And it's not yet supported by the EVM circuit we're currently using. So once we actually get that integrated in our EVM circuit, then we'll be able to really bump up the coverage for the ZK parts, because most of the other circuits are pretty much done, except some of the other circuits that we are working on. So mostly that's kind of like the MPT, the Merkle tree, that we are working on, which is almost feature complete. But yeah, we're also working together with the PSZ team to integrate that. Some other things that we're working on is like the block hash calculation, also like some more robust like error handling of like the data that needs to be processed by the circuits. So yeah, because proposers can just dump any data on chain, we need to be able to correctly handle all of those cases as well. So we're working on like extending that support as well. And for the rest, I think mainly working on some of the pre-compiles, which is like a longer term plan for integration. But yeah, I guess that's mostly it for the ZK part. For the protocol, I guess like one of the things we're waiting for there is also like the EIP 4844. So the data blobs. So that will be very important to reduce the fees on site, inside like a single L2 or L3. And will also like be important to increase scalability just in general for Ethereum, because there will be lots of data available, so multiple L2s, L3s will be able to take advantage of that. So that will be very cool, and something very important that we will want to integrate as soon as possible. For the rest, I think on the protocol side, there's some work being done on optimizing the bridge contracts and the UI. But I guess with like Danny and Daniel here, maybe you can give some more information about that. So Daniel, go ahead.
So on the protocol, nothing too much to say. Some optimizations on the bridge side, so including one transactions when your messages failed, so recalling the message in one transaction instead of two under the hood, and the other one may be the bigger one, or the the more user-facing one is the NFT bridge. So we are working on an NFT bridge, so you will be able to not only bridge ERC20 but ERC7, 21, and 1155 tokens. I think that's it for now.
Okay, thanks, Danny. I think that's basically it. What I wanted to talk about. Maybe one other thing that Daniel sent me is that there will be like a hackathon that we will organize in Singapore in September. But that's also all the information I know. So probably somebody from the other teams can share more information about that if you already have it, or at some future date.
For sure. Yeah, thanks, Brecht. Continuing on the ETH Singapore front, that's what I've been working on mostly for this week. Just got back from Paris and now heads down planning ETH Singapore and token 2049. So we'll be at ETH Singapore. You can join and come hack there for 3 days. We'll be giving out bounties for different categories when you build on Taiko. For taking part in many side events, and have a lot of panel discussions and keynotes here and there. It'll be a packed week. We're about 7 or 8 Taiko team members in Singapore in mid-September. I would say that's one of the key events in that side of the world when it comes to Ethereum and blockchain. Who wants to hop on next to give any updates? Archie, you've been now with us full time for the last 2 weeks. Anything you want to share with the community?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe go read the Puro Slashing article on our forum. Our forum needs some love, so it would be great if you read the article and just share your thoughts and what you think. That's it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, while you're listening, you can check out the Taiko forum and Archie's post there. Yeah, that's actually quite detailed, informative. yeah, I'd love to get some more activity there as well.
Yeah, and also Lisa posted a post on our forum as well, like discussing the different proving mechanisms on Grimsbot and Elfel, the two testnets that we have right now running. So check that out as well.
Cool, man. All right. How about we switch over to Dave and the Devrel side of things?
Yo, what's up? Hey, so on the Devrel side, like, yeah, thanks for everyone coming to be here. Like, we've had a lot of new community members now, and yeah, it's been great to see like everyone try out all our testnet actions. One thing I'll say is we can see that like we look at all the feedback that comes into our different channels, and we've been noticing that node running is a difficult challenge. So we're looking on how we can like improve the developer experience of running a node, especially like around how it's kind of a different experience depending on like what operating system you use, Windows or Mac or Linux. So we're going to be making like some updates to make it easier to run nodes. We also have like added like some various videos to our node running pages, and like just updated all of our troubleshooting as you guys have provided feedback. Yeah, and please like continue to come into our documentation site, add your feedback. I've been seeing a lot more like PRs lately, and like even little things that little bugs that you run into and you just add it. It really helps everyone else out, so really appreciate that. And yeah, like everyone has said, we'll be at ETHCon Korea and also ETH Singapore, so please come and say hello if you're going to be there. Let me see what else. Yeah, I'd say that's about it. One like little thing that we're going to be working on in the near term future is probably like some more information about deploying Taiko. So we're kind of working on the design of how that would look, but just an easy way to like kind of deploy the network similar to how we do it is something we want to offer. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not sure if Marcus or anyone else has updates, but thanks.
Yeah, I was just going to say briefly that I'm kind of just running through the node running documentation, and I'm doing it through a VPS right now, but I also plan to do it through like a local hardware setup as well too, just to have as much user empathy as possible. And if I run into like any like issues, like I'll try to update the doc so it's like as clear as possible. And yeah, just trying to focus on that for now.
Thanks, Dave, and thanks, Marcus. Anybody else have anything to add? Matt or Brecht or Ben, Danny?
I will say, so yeah, just because we mentioned a few events, just to give the full rundown briefly. So what's coming up next for the in-person events? So at the end of August, there's ETH Warsaw and like L2 Warsaw and ZK Warsaw. I guess effectively Warsaw Blockchain Week centered around ETH Warsaw. Marcus will be there giving some talks on Taiko and other ZKVM topics. So yeah, smaller presence there, but if anyone is in that part of the world, you could likely find Marcus. Maybe he'll be joined by another teammate, but yeah, just some Taiko talks going on there. That's roughly August 29th to September 3rd. Sorry, Marcus. Jump in.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so there's a few different events. I think the order is there's going to be ZK Warsaw, and then there's going to be an L2 Beat event, and then the main event will occur. So I think it's a hackathon/conference for ETH Warsaw.
Right, okay. Yeah, so those three kind of main events for us. We won't be having hackathon prizes at ETH Warsaw, but you could find Marcus and just chat, stuff like that. Then right after that, or beginning almost simultaneously, is ETHCon Korea that Dave mentioned. Yeah, ETHCon Korea, so the hackathon and conference. And then after that is Korea Blockchain Week with a bunch of side events. That's roughly September 1st to 7th, let's say. There we will have the hackathon going on with bounties. Yeah, at ETHCon Korea. You can find Dave, Ben, Kang, perhaps some others there. And then right after that is a bit of a bigger presence from us at Ethereum Singapore and Token 2049. So Ethereum Singapore, I believe, starts September 10th. Yeah, we'll have a much bigger presence there, and there'll be a hackathon, a bunch of talks, stuff like that, and side events all the way through with Token 2049. And then some others looking past September, just to like loosely throw it out there. There's ETH Kuala Lumpur or ETH KL in mid-October. We'll have a presence there. Kang and some others, hackathon for builders. Earlier than that is actually ETH New York at the end of September. There's also SmartCon, which we may participate in. So yeah, that's just to put it all up on the radar loosely, but stay tuned if you're really interested in getting involved in the itinerary. So that is it.
Cool. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, I think looks like we have 20 minutes left of the call, so perhaps we can switch over to the questions from the audience. Ben, what do you think? We're ready to open the stage for the community.
Yeah, sure. Perfect. Dave MNE. I was just going to ask your questions that you raised, but seeing that you're coming on stage, feel free to ask away.
Yeah, hey guys. Thank you so much for roadmap and this wonderful presentation. Yeah, so my quick
No
question
problems,
was,
thank you.
yeah, my quick question was just to, could you please repeat one more time about the Alpha 3 and Alpha 4, what the ETA for, how long will be lasting and what will be the next steps in Alpha 3 and Alpha 4? Yep.
So I guess this question is for either Daniel or maybe Brecht to answer. So the question is around Alpha 3 and Alpha 4. So what's the next stages around those two platforms, and are we looking to deprecate it anytime soon?
Yeah, so the
Is there like
question is
a
because,
planned timeline?
Yeah, question is because I would like to figure out the workforce and what time should be allocated for my team for next, whatever plans is going to be implemented there. So just would like to know the next milestone on this.
I can briefly answer that question. So I think we are going to maintain this current two testnets until like at least 1 month after we will launch another one, like another L2 or a L2 and L3. I'm not sure. So that means you will have another network to use before these current two will be shut down. So don't worry. We will give developers enough time to switch over.
I mean, currently, for example, to support Alpha 4, we need to run provers and we need to run proposers. And what I can see that time to time we have an issue with proposers where that like some congestions in the queue of the packets and blah blah. So we need to contribute time to monitor and to support and all the stuff. You know what I mean? So that's why I would like to know, like briefly, what would be the next steps. So currently I see that we are on Alpha 4 already like more than 2 weeks, identified some issues then here and there. And what would be next for Alpha 4? How long will we maintain Alpha 4 before we go to Alpha 5 or something like this?
I think we don't know exactly how long these two networks will run, but right now I think we are trying to plan for a new L2, maybe by the end of September or early Q4. It really depends on some features to be complete on the smart contract level. Also, I think we have like changed the current testnet configuration a little bit. So the gas limit per block is larger than it used to be. So, but that won't solve the problem. We see on the L3 testnet, and we had a discussion internally, and we decided not to move forward with another change that seems to solve the problem, but will break Ethereum equivalency. And we believe eventually when we launch the mainnet, we can rely on like layer one validators and MEV to solve those problems. And by the way, I truly believe that for most L3s, the sequencer will probably be very centralized because as a base rollup, as a layer two, you have a block delay of like 12 seconds. And if you add the layer three, then the delay before confirmation will be larger. So that's why I think for most app chains, the sequencer or the proposer won't be as decentralized as layer two. So we feel like, as Brecht said, we still focus on making sure the L2, our L2 solution is robust and, competitive enough. So we are currently not trying to solve all those problems in L3. Yeah, so not sure whether that answers your question, but that's the current plan. Prioritizing L2 and make sure we have at least one testnet in a couple of months.
Is there any, makes sense. Is there any plan to support GPU along with CPU?
Of course. So internally, we don't have an effort on like FPGA or like ASIC, optimization, but we'll definitely optimize for GPU. Otherwise, the time required to prove a block will be a little bit too long. But the performance optimization always comes as second priority compared to like functionalities and ZK coverage. So without the ZK coverage reaches like 99.9, or even 100%, even we can optimize a lot of performance, then it's still not secure. So security is still the priority, and then performance is the second thing that we are going to work on. But it's not going to like one after another. It's like one, it's in parallel, but we still just try to make sure, our priority is on the security of the solution. Short answer, yes. Sorry.
Okay, I see. Yeah. And last question. So have you got any outcome of running the Alpha 3 in comparison with Alpha 3 or 4 with Alpha 3? I mean, the staking solution against the just proof of work solution. So on Alpha 4, we're currently testing the new economical testing stuff, right? So where people can stake and then run provers and provide the proof, allocated blocks, and so forth. Did you got any ideas, like insights, what the solution would be work for you, like pure layer 3?
So I prefer the staking-based tokenomics because within the time window, we favor the less costly proofs rather than the quick, the fastest proof. So with that, the provers collectively won't be like centralized easily. So the previous one, or the tokenomics used by Alpha 3 or the L2 testnet will probably more likely to get centralized because the winner probably will take all. So that's one reason I like the staking based, but it really depends on the actual participation. Like how many provers staked there. So the new tokenomics is actually a combination of both. If there are a lot of uh, capacity available, by all those stakers, then it's staking based. Otherwise, if we run out of capacity, then it switch to like the first tokenomics or kind of. So right now, I feel like if we launch a new layer two, it will be this staking based tokenomics with a few like changes in the parameter. But basically the design is the same with a few like bug fixes, some configuration changes. Um, yeah.
Okay, so if you come with a second option, so would you consider to do some kind of delegation where people who are not running provers or can delegate the tokens to the existing prover?
Good. That's very good question. So, yes and no. Yes, because in theory, anyone can develop a secondary like proof market, so that people who has the token will stake. People who has the hardware can join the pool to work on block proving. Um, but this is considered not as part of the core protocol. So we are not going to do it ourselves. So that's why in our in our grant program, we say, okay, if anyone want to work on this proof market as a secondary, as an extension of our staking-based tokenomics, then we will probably, we will be very interested in granting some tokens to the third party. We try to make sure the core protocol is as simple as possible, so that the secondary proof market can be designed by multiple teams differently, and it's not built in. When we have internal discussion, we always say this protocol should be as simple as possible so that nobody will clone our protocol and then remove unnecessary optional modules. Everything is core. Everything considered as core is not removable. It is the it must be there. So that's something which is still not the fact because something is still can be removed. So we are trying to restrict ourselves from implementing or offering a all built-in solution, rather just a core ZK rollup type 1 ZK EVM, and then let people to build around it. So that's the current idea about this secondary like proof market.
Thanks a lot,
Yes,
Daniel,
thanks so
for
much.
the answer, and thanks a lot for the question as well, Davey. I think like commenting from my side, like community and communication side regarding the roadmap, I think that was a good feedback. I think we should lay out more clearer roadmap also publicly there. So note taken. We'll work on that when we also get our internal kind of plans to the stage that we can write up a nice summary out of it. Cool. We have over 10 people queuing up to come on the stage. So as much as I enjoyed your conversation, I think it's fair to give room for another community member here. So I promoted X and IN to the stage. So yeah, which one of you gets to ask first, whoever is your first, just go ahead and ask your question or your comment. X or IN, you are muted. You're free to ask questions. I'm also promoting new people here, so feel free to just jump in. I'm promoting Ik the Joy Boy. You're now on the stage as well. Brem 007. Some James Bond fan here. Feel free to ask your question. Hesh, you're on the stage now as well. Okay, I'll be adding more. Mehri.
And do you have a question? Because I have one.
Yeah, who was there? Yeah, go ahead and ask a question.
It's Helios. I don't know if IM seems like their audio is muted. They just want to hang out on stage.
Yeah, Helios, go ahead. I'll be adding the other people on the stage meanwhile. Yeah, go ahead and
Well,
ask the
thank
question.
you for the opportunity and glad to see more of the team member coming up. Big congrats to X. And I kind of wanted to ask something not particular on the alpha test nets, but more about the ETH ecosystem. Last night, there was a little drama between two of the other ZK EVMs about open source code. And I wanted to see if anyone could give their view about, how the open source code is being used and shared and attributed. And what are your thoughts on that? And I don't think this argument pertains to Taiko at all, but just using open source code, being in that ethos of keeping the code open, but copyright and people get upset when some stuff was forked and this and that. Just wanted to know more generally, how do you guys feel about this development that happened last night?
Hey Helios. Yeah, great point and question. I have just some thoughts, but I'm no expert. Anybody could jump in, but I guess one thing I fear from this this scenario yesterday is that maybe teams will be more incentivized to close, to not open source their stuff, or maybe make it source available but not open source. Like basically just some bad reverberations from this, because it's like, oh, we're not going to do this if we don't get the proper attribution, or it's like it's pretty high stakes in this corner of the market and in crypto in general, and it's so yeah, that would just be like a bad outcome. Like this leaves a sour taste, and things stay closed source for longer or forever, or with less permissive licenses. So like regardless of the details of yesterday, which I guess I won't comment on, but it does seem like it wasn't the big bad case of like it's my personal understanding of like theft and complete lying, but more like maybe misattribution and stuff. So which side was so that's that, but I hope it just doesn't lead to like bad outcomes, because everybody does build off each other's stuff. It's so critical, and if you keep going further down the stack, it's like we got to thank so many people, and if attribution isn't there, or if people are sensitive over it, then it could have really bad bad effects. And it's also a weird thing is, in some sense, like Web3 or crypto is supposed to solve some of this, that like open source, right, is notoriously hard to fund. Fund public goods. How do you fund open source software sustainably? Especially like free and open source software. So like how do you do that? Crypto is supposed to sometimes bring an asset into the mix which would accrue the value of some of that innovation, but not always, right? Like different libraries and stuff like that. So you can't always capture the value, but it was a certain promise of it that crypto is a solution for this sort of thing. I don't know. Those are the outcomes, like the general outcomes. I don't want to judge either team from yesterday. They're both great teams. I think they have a deep respect for each other, and really respect each other's work. But yeah, at high stakes and stuff, things could run amok. So yeah, it's a great point, Helios, and I just hope it doesn't have a backlash the other way for the whole space.
Thanks, Matt. Does anybody else have any quick comment on this topic at hand?
I can share my 2 cents. I think
Go ahead.
it really depends on your perspective.
I believe
You
Taiko is gonna blast. It is a really nice project.
Yes, Daniel is talking.
Doing good in all the stages of testnet. Everything is
Miko,
smooth.
can you take this dude?
Everything is really
Yeah,
good.
Daniel, I think we lost you. So if you could just repeat what you said.
I think, yeah. Thank you for the encouragement. So about open source, I think I'm still in favor of open sourcing everything, because if you really just put the interest of the organization's interest as the top priority, then of course there will be meaningful debate between like whether you should open source or close source the code. But for Taiko is only possible because we build on top of so many other people's open source solutions, right? Like the circuits, we co-build the circuit code with PSE, and even the like Scrolls team has contributed to the code base, and some other individuals. We use the Halo 2 library, and a lot of open sourced toolings, right? So if there's no such thing, those fundamental like elements, Taiko is not even possible. We are not so capable of building everything, from ground up, right? So I think if we think, Taiko is just one building block for the entire ecosystem, and maybe one day someone can create a better solution, then we are just a piece of this history, right? So I think I just want to contribute back to the open source community, because we take other people's code, and we feel like as granted that we should be able to do that. So I don't want to license our code, say, hey, to provide to protect our own interests, let's do whatever it takes to maximize our return. So that's not my mentality. Of course, maybe my idea will change over time, but as of now, I don't feel comfortable to close source any code. This is also because to make sure a layer 2 is really secure, you should be confident to open source the code from day one. You want people to have a chance to review the code. You don't say, hey, we close source until a day that we feel comfortable, then we open source everything, right? I'm not going to comment on the debate, but I'm just saying, like, from my perspective, I still favor open sourcing everything. And maybe we'll make slight changes in the future, but right now we don't have any plan to close source anything.
Thank you, man.
Thanks.
Really informative.
Hey, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel, and thanks for the question. All right,
thanks to
cool.
all of
I think it's 1 hour up because we got started a little bit late thanks to my own stupid mistakes with the audio. Let's have one more question. So we have people on the stage here, so feel free, really, any one of you to.
Vicky, right? Vicky.
Yeah, Vicky. Would you have any comment or question?
Sir. Hello, sir.
Wiki
Can you
or
hear me,
Captain 1463. We have also
Yep,
MetaTrader
Vicky,
here.
we can hear you. Yep, we can hear you, Vicky.
How are you,
Please
sir?
ask your question. We're very good, thank you. How are you?
Sir, can I ask you a question? When will be the airdrop will start? Can you hear me?
Yes. So we're still waiting for the Ethereum hard fork to happen. We are still wait for 48, 44 to be available. Then we will launch our mainnet. So
Oh,
yeah, don't still don't know exactly when. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, sorry for my moderation mistake. I didn't hear, Vicky, your sound, so I probably spoke over to you just now. Okay, maybe one more question. If there's anyone. MetaTrader, Captain, IN, Shield Mikey. Right. Well, if there's no more questions, Ben, any concluding words from your side?
I want to ask some few questions. I wanted to know, like, how are we going to be progressing towards mainnet? Is there going to be like a stress test on the network, or are you going to be like phase by phase, like let's say baby mainnet, then mainnet alpha or mainnet era, that kind of a thing? Did you hear
Thanks
me?
for the question. Yes, we heard you.
Okay.
Daniel, Matthew.
I think I heard not perfectly, but how will we stress test? So of course that's what's going on right now with all the test nets. Yeah, and really grateful for that. Each different implementation, and then come mainnet time, I don't know the exact plan, but certain best practices. Sometimes it's I mean, yeah, sometimes it's a bit of like a permissioned rollout, and like for deployments, only certain people could deploy. I'd say that goes against what we've done so far, where everything is open right away from like a builders and deployers and users point of view. The only things we've ever gated were provers at one time and proposers at one time for like token economic reasons and tests. But yeah, come mainnet, so maybe we'll continue our path of everything like not gated on that front. But of course, then there's just the broader question, not of stress testing, but of like maintaining upgradability, right? So the roll-up contracts, that's the whole stage 0, stage 1, and stage 2 type of maturity of a roll-up project that Vitalik and others write about. So upgradability with some delay, upgradability with a security council, like some larger set, like 9 of 12 needed, unless there's like a verifiable bug, in which case you have a fast path. So not so much in stress tests, but keeping the training wheels, as people call them, on long enough for to mitigate the downsides. Yeah, because this is complex stuff, a lot of it. So that could be like a multi-year process, right? And it's always an interesting discussion. What do people feel more safe with training wheels off, non-upgradability, hopefully no bugs. So yeah, trust the code. And yeah, to Daniel's point, at that point, you wish everything was very open source and battle tested from others for a very long time. So that's good. Or is it comforting to have a foundation or security council maintain upgradability for n number of years, and little by little add in the remove the training wheels. So longer delays, larger councils, stuff like that. Maybe multi-proof systems. But I hope that answers it. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so what I understand from what you said is like there is going to be like a mainnet, then it will be upgraded gradually and other features will be coming in. So there's not going to be a mainnet stage where only the developer can deploy, or maybe a baby mainnet stage, and then maybe there will be another upgraded version built behind bars or behind doors, something like that. So I say it's not going to be like, it's just going to be launched and then we can deploy and everybody can get access to it, right?
Right. So it's a good question. I guess I don't know the answer right now. I'm not sure if we know the answer. I will say if it's in line with how we've acted so far, then it might be completely permissionless to deploy on. I mean, there's some things behind the scenes, right, where you could help partners get up to speed, like they deploy and you help them. But in terms of like a gated launch, I can't rule it out. I'd say we don't know enough. So it's quite a good question, something we could start to think about in the coming months. But I'd say we don't have a full answer.
Okay, all right. So how about, I'm still new to this blockchain. I'm still new to the project, so I don't know much. I've tried to read the white paper and I didn't see much. Well, how about supporting developers on the project? How are you people coming about that? And also, are you people going to be interested in gaming on the blockchain?
Right. Okay, I'll try to answer these quickly because I know people have been here an hour, but thank you for the questions. Supporting developers, I mean, that's the work of our of the whole team in some sense and what we're all in it for. But Devrel, Dave, Kang, Marcus spending all their time there on great documentation, great resources and education. So that comes from the community and communication team as well. And of course, our whole ethos and like design decision we've taken is for the best developer experience, right? So we kind of take a quite hard path in some senses on the circuit side, all for the sake of the best developer experience. So that's kind of in the DNA of the project. And then what we're, kind of tactically to support them, maybe you were here at the beginning of the call, maybe not. We have a grants program, the first one, our first grants program that launched a couple weeks ago. We're quite happy to launch that earlier than some others would. Often it comes only later, but we like the idea of getting builders involved earlier in the same way that our community and the core contributors are very involved early. So building right alongside us versus some clear like demarcation line of, okay, now we have grants, right? So developers building while we're building hand in hand. So that's a grant program you could check out. There will be more of those, different flavors of it. Like the current one talks about tokens. Another one might better service people that have like requirements for cash for like funding up front. So yeah, the grants program. And now, building out more of the ecosystem team, some partnerships folks that have joined, and making sure that builders have all the tooling, all the infrastructure at their disposal so they could build whatever protocols, projects, and products that they want. So that's really, happening in earnest right now. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about it. Also going to more and more hackathons. I alluded to 4 that we're attending in the next month or 2. So yeah, thanks for the question. I hope that answers.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the question, and thank you, Matthew. And I'll need to, now that the training wheels was brought up, I'll need to give a shout out to L2Beat. I think they've done great work for the entire roll-up space by introducing these stage 0, stage 1, and stage 2 ways of categorizing all the roll-ups, and basically giving some objective perspective if the roll-up is in the full training wheels mode or limited training wheels or no training wheels, and depending on different kind of metrics like security councils and so on. They've done great work in the space. Cool. All right, we are now a bit over time, but I'd love to keep it going. I think we just need to wrap it up now. Thanks for the amazing questions. I think we had really high quality conversation today. Yeah, the next time we are on Discord call will be next week Tuesday, as always. On Tuesdays we do the office hours or the tea with Taiko, alternating those. So feel free to come over there. And with this full team lead and co-founder setup, we'll be again here 1 month from now. So something happening every week on Discord call side of things. Ben, any final words from you, and then let's wrap it up.
Well, no, nothing from my side. Just like to say, again, extended thank you for all the community members who've joined, and thank you very much, guys, for your support and all those who are actually actively helping other members. It's absolutely fantastic to see the energy from the community, especially the new people as well who are joining and helping each other out. So thank you, everyone, for all of the cooperation and the collaboration as well.
On these words, it's good to end. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you all soon again. Thanks for joining. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers. Bye-bye.